All right, everybody, we are live again, back to back to back. Search for Huru, Dinah Samir, and today it is the afternoon now. It's 12:03 out here in Atlanta. We have the sister Monisola and the brother Sekou on with us, and we're going to be discussing creating a reality of black privilege, creating a reality of black privilege in America. So Masiola and Brother Sekou, thank you so much for coming on and joining us.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you. I
me.
appreciate it. Thank you.
No problem. Brother Sekou, give us an idea of when you say creating black privilege. Go ahead and give us an idea like of what that would actually be.
I believe black privilege would be creating an ideology that we all could benefit from, regardless of our background or lineage. As long as you're an African, you have black privilege in America, and it could be like, for instance, your show "Search for Your Huru." This is a black privilege. It's a black privilege for me to be on your show. And I have my business, Irawi Faith Facts. I did a chart reading for Monisola yesterday. She supported me, so I thank her for her support. That's an aspect of black privilege right there. We have the privilege to support each other. Um, just creating a social dichotomy of unity with all these different cultural backgrounds, when we all come from one place, one for all. We all come from the continent, from the motherland, you know, and basically realizing that we have to create our own opportunities. That our opportunities is not going to come from Caucasians. It's not going to come from wherever you're from in the diaspora. If you're Jamaican, if you're from Ghana, I mean, you're from Guyana, you're from Barbados, your opportunities are not going to come from colonialists. It's going to come from people that look just like you. It's going to come from people like Dinah Samir, people like Sekou and Kosi Akosi, people like Monisola. So basically, the social framework of this conversation is I was in Citibank, and and an African lady had skipped the line. So of course, I'm trying to get my money. So I'm like, excuse me, miss. It was my turn on the line, and she had an attitude. So I said, yo, the African lady skipped the line. So I guess it was a young brother that was behind her. He was also from Africa. He said, you call her African lady, but she's a black lady, just like we want to be called black, just like you. So why you calling her African for when she's black? So that sparked an interest in my mind. I'm like, he's right, you know. And then I hear a lot of African Americans will say, well, that African person or that African, but they're not really included in the black struggle, but they also are a part of the black struggle. Those are our families. That's our lineage. Those are our people. So um, the Africans that have relocated to America, whether it be in this generation or previous generations, they are part of this black privilege in America, and some of them want to be included in the black struggle, and that's what I feel this the topic of this conversation is about.
Okay. Uh, Sister Monty Sola, what are your thoughts on it? And also tell people, a little bit about you, where you're from, and all that.
So I'm from Rhode Island. I'm currently a student finishing my undergrad, and what I mainly work on is giving back to the community. So me and my friends, we own a nonprofit organization where we send 10 people to South Africa. It has been something that's been very, very important to us because we feel as they never really had the opportunity to visit back home and really see what it is to be on African land and see different, kind of different, just a different situation. But I also have my own business called Remedy, where I focus on blockages within women and men. And so I give readings and sit downs on working with metaphysical energies to kind of highlight these blockages within themselves. But back to what Brother Ife was saying, well, Sekou. I do feel like there is a huge divide in America with Black Americans and Africans, and I feel that this has been done on purpose to divide um, all of us to make sure we're not unified as a whole. Because when we are unified, you know, we are on track and we can identify more with each other. Um, and this is something that we have to bring back into the conversation. It's funny because I don't know if you've seen Black Panther.
I have.
Um,
I did. Did you see it?
yeah, I did. And, you know, he brought that into the conversation, the division between Africans and Black Americans, when it's ultimately the same kind of struggle that we are going through. So we really, really have to recognize that so we can band together and help each other, whether it's between our businesses or just, you know, just opening conversations like we are doing today. I think it's very important to do that so we can move forward and create new opportunities, new conversations, and just continue that.
The name of
Okay.
your company is Remedy, right?
Correct.
Oh, and it's about clearing blockages and problems and creating solutions. And it's like basically like an oracle, like you're like an oracle, and you give um you give readings. That's what's up. That's what's up. That's dope.
Thank you.
That's what's
Okay.
up.
So now, so now we talk a lot about as far as the diaspora coming together. Um, how do you think we accomplish that, brother Sekou?
Do we accomplish that? That's the whole point. I think that there are definitely opportunities to create this unity, to create this with the internet, you know, multi-level media marketing. We need to create more avenues. This is one avenue where we communicating on a regular level, on a highly intelligent level with sub-Saharan Africans. So you can come to search for your Huru and find great communication between sub-Saharan Africans, African Caribbeans, and African Americans. So this is one brilliant level and example of creating Black privilege. Um, how can we create more opportunities with that? Um, I think that basically we have to definitely do more work with each other to come to a. I guess there's people that may not agree with this ideal of Pan Africanism because it is an ideal of Pan Africanism, and we need to possibly get them on the show and find out their reasonings for why. On the contrary, because we know what Pan Africanism is, we know who Marcus Garvey was, we know who Malcolm X was. We need to possibly get more people on the show that have a different way of thinking, a different ideology, a contrary ideology, and find out because there's reasons for why we don't have as many Black privileges in America and as a unit, you know, because like you said, like I watched a show previously. You also said that most of the beef between Africans and African Americans comes from the Africans that's in America that don't like African Americans, but the Africans in the continent love African Americans. That's the one thing. Every African brother that I know, brothers from Nigeria, brothers from Burkina Faso, they all love African Americans. They all love Mayweather. They all love all of these successful example. Oh, Tupac. They love Tupac. So from their perception, they love African Americans.
Right.
But the perception of Africans that come to America for these opportunities, they see African Americans as an enemy. They see us as like, you know, they're jealous of us because we have opportunities they don't have. And the goal of this show is to say, we don't want to stand in your way, Africans. We want you to get these opportunities. Let's build opportunities for each other. Let's susu our money. Let's come together. Let's create opportunities together. Not, I'm not in your way. I don't have the crabs and barrel syndrome. I'm an African American that don't have the crab and the barrel syndrome. I want to see my African brothers do well. I want to see my African sisters do well. So my mentality is let's build. Let's build. Let's create Black privileges. My African people from Nigeria, from Burkina Faso, from the Ivory Coast that are in America right now, You have black privileges just like me. Let's build black privileges together. Let's build businesses together. You know, let's unite. You know, and that's the goal. I feel that's the goal of this conversation. That's the goal. That's the reason why I called Dynast. That's the reason why, you know. And I met the sister yesterday. We did some work. I did a reading on her. I did a forecast reading, and she supported me. So I was like, I gotta support her, and I felt like my reading was good, but maybe it wasn't good enough. Maybe I needed to give her an opportunity to promote her business. And I thought about Brother Dynast. I was like, yo, this would be a wonderful opportunity because this brother, he's on the ground. He's in the continent. He's with the people. He knows a lot of Africans. A lot of Africans just know their country. They know if you're from Nigeria, you know Nigerians. But this brother been to Sierra Leone. He been to Mali. He's been to Tanzania. He's been all over the continent. So I'm like, yo, this brother definitely is connected to everybody in Africa, and he's connected to people in America. So I said, let me introduce this sister that's very intelligent. She's a law student. You know what I mean? She has a lot of potential, and she's definitely going to be successful with her business. Let me introduce her to Dynast. Let's do this show, and creating black privilege. I think it's a great opportunity. So that's my views. That's why I felt like it was a great. I think it will be a great show. Um, I feel the reality is a lot of Africans have conflicting views. They don't want to unite with African Americans. They just think about, okay, I have to create opportunities for myself here, and that's the wrong mentality. And a lot of African Americans that have the mentality that they don't want to help Africans, that's the wrong mentality. I was one time I was in a juice bar, and I got my juice, I got my smoothie, I got my veggie. I love veggie. I'm a vegetarian, I'm a vegan. I got my food, whatever. And I was leaving, and I was speaking with the Jamaican brother, and some Africans was in the car. They was driving by. They was playing their African music, playing their Kid or whatever. And he was like, "Fucking Africans." So I turned around and look at him like, "Nigga, you African? What the fuck are you talking about? Fucking Africans?" You know what I'm saying? So this social division between sub-Africans, Caribbeans, African Caribbeans, and
Oh, sorry
African
about that. Hold on.
is there, and we got to destroy it. We got to crush it. We go ahead, sir. Dynasty man, go ahead.
No, something had popped up. Monisola, what are your thoughts as far as how um, we can enjoy or experience this Pan African, I would say, black privilege that we're talking about today?
I think ultimately it really comes down to first kind of like before we can reach that macro level, we really have to heal ourselves, because a lot of people, they're walking around damaged, they're walking around with a lot of blockages within themselves. They're not even able to deal with the problems that they face within life, all the things that they've been through. So first, before we even have to delve into building something on a macro level, which is like Pan-Africanism within our own communities, we have to heal. We have to, come together and get rid of these blockages, heal women. And that's why I do offer these sessions where, we can sit down and we can go through these blockages. And that's why what Brother Sekou is doing also is very important, because I got, an amazing forecast, and it also helped me. I think ultimately what we should be focusing on to get to that macro level is healing ourselves from within, so we can be balanced individuals, so we can move forward as a people together. Because there's no moving forward if you are still in this kind of very, very toxic place within your life, within your environment. Then
I
you're not
said,
going to be of any help.
I said,
Hmm. Huh. What,
said,
so,
said.
Monty Solo, as far as your programs, what all do you do? I guess, are there any? There's an echo. Uh, is that? I guess that's probably on my end. That on my end, the echo. If you guys are replaying it on another page, just mute that page. All right, there we go. Perfect. All right, Monty Solo, what are you doing with your program as far as to how's your program playing a role to build a reality of Black privilege?
So what it does is it helps balance the individual, because what I found in a lot of women that I work with, we, even men, we house these kind of energies within us that go into our relationship, our marriage life, our personal life. And so what I do is I work with individuals to clear these blockages, identify the blockages so they can move on and build a healthy life for themselves. And building a healthy life for the individual helps us on a macro level, because then they can, you know, they don't have these feelings of jealousy or not being worthy. They come into a whole community and they have, more to offer. They're more on their divine purpose. And that's the main thing. I really want to push people to be on their divine purpose, not stray away from all these kind of things they've internalized from what they've been going through throughout life, which is they may not know, or it may be known that they're doing. So just to bring awareness to what they're doing, those boxes that they're getting and why they're getting them, to help them so they are on their divine purpose, so they can help the whole divine purpose, which is us building that Black privilege, building the bridges for ourselves so we can, be of a great kind of community and lineage. Because if we don't have working individuals with balanced brains, healthy minds, they're not going to be of, much value to the whole system. So that's the work I do, and it helps them on a micro level to contribute to the macro level.
What about you? As far as what you do, Sekou?
I do a lot of work. I do natal charts, which is the geocentric Western astrology chart system, which basically it tells you about your past life, or not your past life, or your present life, your roots, your childhood, up into where you are now. It's basically your relationships, um, business and otherwise. I do business astrology as well. And I do forecasts. The forecast is basically what you're going through right now in 2018, as far as trying to develop your business plan, as far as creating a network, as far as your relationships with people that can help you succeed. Like as far as like, all right, I have a business relationship with my brother Dinus, and he's allowing me to use his platform to promote my business. This is a Black privilege for me. I'm promoting Irawi Faith Facts on my Instagram page. I'm promoting Compatibility Success Facts, which is also an Instagram page that I started that's about Black relationships. It's a health and wellness um, Instagram page that I started to promote Black relationships, in which basically you tell me your birthday, the time you're born, and somebody else's birthday that you're attracted to. If and your compatibility with that person, if it's a successful relationship, or if it will be a successful relationship, or if it'll just be a complete waste of your time. And I'll give you astrological reasons for why this is a match or it's not a match. So I also do Ifa or Risha readings. As far as you tell me your birthday, I tell you your life path, karma number, your master number, different things that you're going through in your life, your strengths, your weaknesses. Um, this is the work that I do, and basically it's just very informative information about metaphysical aspects of your life, and different ways of dealing with certain situations that can help you grow rather than keep you stagnant. And yeah, that's basically what I do. Um, I feel that Black privilege is when you have the mentality that is contrary to white supremacy. It's contrary to the mentality of somebody who feels, oh, they did this to us, they did this to me, so I'm just not gonna try to buy a house. I'm not gonna try to stack my bread. I'm not gonna try to make sacrifices to build with my people. I'm not gonna susu my money. I'm not gonna do what I have to do to create resources now. I'm gonna just live in the past and blame the oppressors. I'm gonna just focus on white supremacy and focus on all the power that supposedly I don't have, when I'm not looking at the time and space I'm living in right now in my present, and the power that I could be creating for myself. So it's the opposing view of someone who's is so obsessed with white supremacy that, in a sense, you could be black and be a white supremacist. You're black, but all you talk about and think about is your oppressor and your adversary that you become just like him. You know what I'm saying? So this is something that we also see, and it's something that we also see that, and it's very scary that we can see that our people in this country have become just like the oppressors when it comes to their own people. You know, these they called house Negroes. You know what I'm saying? We've been seeing that for hundreds of years. So now we have to move on to the future, moving into the future, start creating our own opportunities, start building with each other, stop the way they disenfranchise, I should say, the way oppressors disenfranchise us from ourselves, we have to re-enfranchise us when it comes to each other. There's a popular video called Melanin Poppin', and it's done by a Nigerian by the name of Corday Bello, and I thought I was very impressed by it because he's a brother that's from Nigeria. Where I'm not saying everybody in Nigeria has a mentality, because I would be lying, but some Nigerians will have this mentality, but African Americans say they are katas. But he didn't have this mentality in this video. He shows beautiful images of African American women with their natural, and this is a move in a positive direction, far as awareness and far as African sub-Saharan Africans, because I don't really see too many Pan-African sub-Saharan Africans anymore. We seen Thomas Sankara, he passed away in '87. We had There was a couple brothers. There was a brother named Master Naba. He started something called the Earth Center. He was from Burkina Faso. But as far as the sub-Saharan Africans, I haven't seen too many attempts to be Pan-African in America. So, we need more of that. We need more sub-Saharan Africans with the mentality of a Pan-African that wants to build with African Americans. Because you can't just say, oh, I want to be black and I want to be a part of the black struggle as a sub-Saharan African, but you don't want to build with your African American brothers. You don't want to build with your Afro-Caribbean brothers. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to create opportunities to do business. You want to just say, okay, I'm African and I don't trust African Americans. I don't trust African Caribbeans. I don't want to do business with them, because it was done to them. The oppression was done to them. They were victims. You're blaming them like they're the suspect for what happened to them when they wasn't the suspect. They were the victims. So now you can't have the same mentality as the suspect that was against them by not helping them build and not helping them grow. So you have to have the mentality of, let's give them an opportunity to create resources with us, because we all Africans. So they don't have this. They don't. Not all of them. It's a high percentage of Africans that don't have this mentality. There's I can now Monisola. She's African American because she's born here, but her parents are from Nigeria. Correct?
Yeah. When you get done, I'm gonna ask her a question about that too. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Continue.
No. We'll finish your thought, then I'll ask her.
My point is, for Africans in America that have a problem with African Americans and African Caribbeans to cut it, basically cut it. Let's build. We got Dynasty Man now. We got Search for Your Huru. You have a platform. You can build. You can promote your businesses. You have a brother that is not doesn't have the mentality of the crabs in the barrel syndrome. He all the stereotypes of African Americans, he doesn't fit them. All the stereotypes of African Americans, Sekou and Kosi Akosi, I don't fit them. Monisola, she doesn't have that. So what's the reason why we can't build? Go ahead,
Hey,
brother.
Monisola, when your parents first moved to from Africa, from Nigeria to America, what were their initial thoughts when it came to Black Americans?
Well, I want to say it was mostly negative because that's all they saw. That's all that was really promoted to them. The oppressors, the gatekeepers, that's all they push. They want to push this bad image of Black African Americans. So these people coming from these African places, they separate and think like, oh, we can't possibly be like them. This is how they are. This is how they say they are. So I think for my family, it was like, oh, I was always told don't hang with the black students, you know, they're this and that and that. When ultimately it wasn't even true. It was just an ideology that was pushed to them through social media, through television, and through the news. Which is ultimately very wrong. And we still have the same thing going on today. But I feel like today, people are waking up more to the false ideology and seeing Black excellence, seeing Obama, seeing all these people that are Black and are still pushing and doing other things. But the problem is these gatekeepers of information, they want to keep pushing through the news, through the media, of how these Blacks are, you know, supposedly dangerous and portrayed. But but my family, that's how they saw Black African Americans. It was always negative. But I do think it's starting to change today. We see we see a whole different kind of portrayal of Black African Americans, even through the award shows that they do. They have their Black Girl Magic now, and melanin is also a big thing, you know, being promoted. So we're starting to see a difference. But ultimately, my family was like, yeah, no, we are not Black, we are Nigerian, and they embrace their roots, and they definitely push that upon me. But I had Nigerian and I had Black friends, and the only thing different was the culture that we had. Everything else was the same. We went through the same things, we experienced the same oppression. Um, we just had different culture. So
Hmm.
And can I just say something about
Go
that?
ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead, please.
She said something interesting. She said, they push the fact that we're not Black, we are Nigerian. That absolutely is, that makes no absolute sense at all. I mean, Nigerians are Black, and every
mhm.
Black person in America, in the Caribbean, come from West Africa. So to say you're not Black, it doesn't make sense. I mean, you,
In essence, I can't blame them because they had so little knowledge of the American culture, and where they came from was absolutely, absolutely different. And their main goal was to raise me to the best of their ability. And if it had to be separating between these two, you know, identifications, that's something that they were going to do. So in essence, I can't even blame them for wanting to do that because they knew no better. But it's my duty to know better and say yes. I am Black, I am African, you are Black, and you are African, because they want to create these identities to divide and conquer when in essence it is one. And that's what we have to, as the new class, the new upcoming class, that's what we have to push and really, you know, identify as. But my mom came from a different time and different setting, so I can't even blame her for the way she approached things. She just wanted to try her best to bring up a daughter.
in essence, can I just say something? In
No, go ahead. Go
essence,
ahead, brother. Go ahead. Go ahead.
African, in essence, you have some African Americans with the ignorant mentality of saying, they're African, they're not Black. I'm Black. Meaning I'm not. Basically, they're saying, in essence, I'm not African. You feel what I'm saying? If they're saying, look, I'm Black, and they're Africans, they're saying I'm not African. That's saying basically I'm Black, I'm not African. You have Israelites with this ignorant mentality. You have other Blacks with this ignorant mentality. You know, I'm Black, I'm not African. This is another ignorant ideology that we have to destroy. I'm Black, I'm not African. So now that, okay, the movie Black Panther came out, very informative movie, but it's basically what we've been talking about all along. There's no way you can be Black and not be African. If you're Black, you're African. That's it. You know, there's no way you can get out of being African. You're African. If you're Black, you're African. Bottom
Hmm.
line.
Hmm. Let me ask you this: how do you feel about those who believe that they're not Black, they're not African, they're Hebrew Israelites, they're indigenous Aboriginals, but not Black? What are your thoughts on them?
My thoughts on them is when you say they say they're not Black, they're not African, you mean the Arawak Indians that are from the Bak people, the native people of this land? You mean those people?
Yeah, yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Most of them are mixed with African. Most of them,
Right.
majority of them.
Exactly. Yeah.
So they're not identifying with the African DNA, the downfall of them as well. That they're bad. They're bad. If you're gonna say, look, I'm not identifying with Africa at all, you're bad. You're ignorant. You know, we don't need that. That's not helping us grow. That social paradigm is destroying us right now. How is that helping us grow? I mean, am I right? I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna ask you, brother Dinus,
What?
based on your expertise and your understanding of the continent. How do you feel about that social construct of, the Aboriginals that don't want to connect with Africa at all, and they have African DNA. They may be Arawak people. Yes, go ahead, sir.
I think it's a part of it is they're ashamed to be African because again, the images that are portrayed of Africa and the current situation Africa is in, a lot of people want to find every way to disassociate themselves with Africa and try to sexify it. So that's why you have these Hebrew Israelites and these so-called Aboriginals, because when you hear their, I would say, commentary when it comes to Africa is always in a negative light. That's why I believe it's to attempt, and it's a fail, to separate themselves from Africa because of what they perceive Africa to be. What
Yeah,
about you, Monisola? How do you feel about that?
I definitely think it's a lack of awareness, a lack of self. When you're not in tune with yourself and you're shut off to a lot of knowledge, then of course you're going to disassociate yourself with the motherland. Ultimately, I think a lot of things come back to getting that knowledge and being aware with self. And once people start to disassociate themselves with the motherland, and once they've been through a lot of maybe traumatic or things that they've experienced within their life that cause them to disassociate, they further remove themselves from the motherland and further disassociate themselves with that ideology, when in essence everybody can be linked back to the motherland, and they just need to get their hands on the knowledge to really, really, awaken awaken themselves to the truth. And that's what we're missing, and that's why in public education you don't see anything about African Americans unless it's slavery being taught. These gatekeepers are very, very conscious on the information that they put out, and they don't want us to have our hands on information that is going to affect and change the masses' minds and how they think, because they know once you start to think different, it alters your brain, and you are no longer operating for the oppressor. You are operating for your self-purpose, and that's ultimately what they don't want. And that's why we see these people they go astray, and
Right.
it's a different ideology.
Let me say, do you think there's any, I would say, hope as far as them coming back and realizing who they are, or is it pretty much a lost cause? Anybody on the panel, you can answer that.
I think it's a lost cause. I think some people are just lost, and their purpose is to destroy and not build, and they're not productive. They're drifters. Their mind is not set for any type of productivity, and they're only here for that purpose to destroy. So, their mindset is not ready for change. They won't allow their mind to change, and they're there to keep people under a spell of confusion and brainwash people, and that's their main goal. Their main goal is a selfish. They have a self-oriented goal for their own selfish gratification on this planet and this time, to please themselves in a perverted way by brainwashing people and controlling their destiny. They have no purpose in a Pan-African organization anyway. So they should, if that's what they want to do, they should stay over there. Don't try to join what we have going. If you're not going to be about this, don't be true to yourself.
What about you, Monisola?
I kind of see it from two angles. I feel like the oppressors, the ones that are, very deep into the gatekeepers, the ones that are holding the information, there's definitely little light for them to find the way. But speaking from a stance where I feel like at one point I was lost, and I didn't have any sense of my purpose or any sense of what I wanted to do. I was just kind of following the wave. And all it took was for me to sit down and ask myself certain questions and really, really do that self reflection. So I do feel like there is opportunity and chance for other people, because there's certain information that can wake people up in an instant, and they can, it opens these new pathways within their brain, within themselves, to really self reflect and really, really go deep within themselves. Just a little little opportunity will help them. So even with a lot of the women that I work with, just that one question, and it will have them thinking for days, and that could be the one question that really, really puts them on their path. So I do feel like people still have a chance and could be awakened. I feel that.
I stay.
Okay. I'm going to read this comment in the chat room. I do believe if you are born outside of 49 nations of Black Africa, you can't be called or identify as African. Most people who do don't speak any African language, nor do they think like Africans. What's your thought on that? What's your thoughts on that comment?
I think that's very ignorant, because as long as your DNA is African, then no one can disenfranchise you from who you are. I mean, the language and the culture can be learned. I mean, I can learn Yoruba. I can learn More. I can learn Twi, the Ghana Twi. I can learn Shona, the people from Zimbabwe. Um, I can learn Zulu. I can learn Xhosa. So there's no. I mean, people create barriers for themselves to create an ideology of hate and separation, and to me, that's what that is.
Hmm. What about you, Monisola?
I couldn't agree more. Like I said, there's this kind of perception that's pushed on Americans that this separation, we constantly, like I said, divide and conquer. As long as we're not identifying with each other, as long as we're not willing to learn other culture, yeah, I may be Nigerian, but I can go somewhere else and I can learn about their culture. I can learn about their language. You can't be unblack. You can't take away what's already embedded within you. So ultimately, it's within your mind that you're causing the separation. And once you continue to have that within your mind, of course, you're not going to identify with any of the African nations, because you're already saying, oh, this is how they are. And of course, I can't identify with them, when maybe you haven't even experienced anything within their culture, or even been to the land. You're just talking off of conceptions that's been preached to you rather than your own conception. So it's very important, very, very important to not know yourself and be a free thinker, get the information by yourself rather than, going off of what's being kind of pushed on you.
I
Because at the end
said,
of the day, like Brother Sekou said, you can go and learn, and if we're
facts.
not willing
I
to do
said,
that, you can stay here with the oppressors.
I said.
So
Facts. I that was an excellent question, Dynas. That was on point, man. Because if you thought like that, we wouldn't be here. If you thought based on what that question you asked, if you thought that was true, then you wouldn't be doing your company what you're doing now, and it's excellent work. So I mean, I would like to know your views on that as well. But
As far as just what the brother said in the chat room.
the 49 countries.
Yeah, 49. No, I mean, again, what's the saying that if you take we'll say a German Rottweiler, say a German Rottweiler is born in America, it's still a German Rottweiler. So if a black person whose DNA is African is born in America, that person's still African.
Facts. I said, and this is the deep
You
thing.
know,
I just want to say this is so powerful. Not to cut you off. African American is African in America. That's it. African American is an African. That's the reality. There's no such thing as an African American. It's just that you're born in America. But anyone who's born in America or who comes from Africa, comes to America, then has children, their child is an African American. But American is a word based on Amerigo Vespucci, Italian. They named after him, of course. They started this country July 4th, 1776. But Africans are Africans. So, we have the social construct African American, but African Americans are Africans. Afro Caribbeans are Africans, and I also want to say my Afro Latina people, Afro Latin people, people from Cuba that are black, that are Africans, people from the Dominican Republic that are Africans, they still Africans. When you say Afro Caribbean, Puerto Rico is in the Caribbean,
Right.
Dominica is in the Caribbean. So, the social uh, brainwashing mentality to not acknowledge that African DNA is hogwash. It's hogwash. I don't want to use profanity, but for I respect the viewers, but it's insanity.
So what do you feel about? How do you feel about black, or I put in quotation marks, black Dominicans that don't identify as black but are obviously black?
I feel that they are buying into. They believe in most likely white supremacy. They're down with the opposition. We can most likely say that most Africans' opposition has always been Caucasians. Has always been white supremacy or white supremacist mindset, and they feel that that's going to give them power. So if their mentality is, well, everybody's against these people, we should join. Even though we are them, we should join the mentality of the people that's against them because they have money and they have power. So that's their mentality. It's common sense that the opposition is more attractive. If all right, the football Super Bowl, the underdog was Philadelphia. If Philadelphia had the mindset that they were losers because they were the underdog, they wouldn't be the champions right now. But they didn't have the underdog mentality. They had the mentality that we're gonna defeat this team, offense and defense. We're gonna outplay them. We're gonna outsmart them in the next 40 minutes or whatever, whatever it is. So whatever how long a football game is. So the point I'm trying to make is if we look at ourselves as an underdog, we'll never succeed. We can't look at ourselves as an underdog. This is why we have to create black privilege. This right now, this is the most informative program on internet, on YouTube right now. If you're not watching this program, you're not educating yourself. Your mind is drifting. Your mind isn't where your mind needs to be here. This is where your mind needs to be. If you're trying to find yourself, if you're trying to find who your ancestors are, you coming close to the reality of awareness of self by coming to search for your huru and coming to black privilege, trying to create black privileges for yourself, trying to create your own business, trying to create your own success. You know, this is where you need to be. As a young person, if you're in college, of course you got to focus on your career. Of course you got to focus on what you're trying to accomplish. But at the same time, you also got to focus on the people that surround you. And you got to be around the most intelligent, educated people that are being productive. And right now, this is a productive conversation y'all need to be a part of. This is it. This is where it's at. And there's so many
Thank you.
different
I appreciate
various
that.
facts. There's so many different various viewpoints of the truth you could come from. Like, I see Black Panther was an excellent movie, but there's so many different ways I could look at this movie. And I was thinking to myself, like, okay, I could look at what Dinah says and I could jump on how he feels and regurgitate that. But I wouldn't be being true to myself. I'm like, I'm gonna watch it over again and I'm gonna think for myself. I'm gonna come up with my own ideology, how I feel about the movie. And that's what I'm doing. That's what I have done. And I feel that maybe it's Saturday, maybe one day people seen it, people still going to see it so they can create their own ideology. Create your own ideology. Think for yourself. Don't follow. If you respect Dynas, I respect his opinion too, but have your own mind. Be true to yourself. Be true to your own mind. Have your own way of thinking. Don't be a follower. But respect the intelligent geniuses. We respect our geniuses, our leaders like Dinah Samir, like O'Shea, Duke Jackson. We respect our intelligent people, like she said, Queen Afua. We respect them, but we also have our own minds. And I have my own mind. I have my own views about Black Panther. And it was a great movie. But this is about black privilege. This is what we focus on right now. And I feel we have to really focus on African unity. Africans, sub-Saharan Africans, whether you're from Nigeria right now, you just came here, it's time to build. Let's build with the most intelligent Afrocentric African Americans that want to learn their culture. They want to learn Yoruba. Right here we have a Yoruba teacher. We have people tell them what you do. Tell Monisola, tell them what you do.
I
Hey,
do.
real quick, not to cut you. I'm sorry for cutting you off. What part of Nigeria are your parents from?
They're from Abuja
Okay,
and Ijebu.
Abuja, that's what's up.
okay. I'm going to Nigeria in August for the Osun Festival.
Wow, wow. I'll be there in July and I'll be in South Africa as well.
Okay, okay. How long are you gonna be in Nigeria for when you go in
A
July?
month. I'll be there for a month.
Oh, okay. So you're from July when to when? When do you leave?
So I leave June 11th and I come back July 11th.
Oh
Yeah.
man. Okay, so I'm gonna miss you. Okay, never mind then. But go ahead. Tell everybody what you do.
So I do speak Yoruba very fluently. My parents are from Nigeria. They made sure to
Bawo,
instill to
bawo
speak
ni yo,
Yoruba.
bawo ni.
Um, and I've been asked to teach some classes, so that's been on my mind as well. So depending on how many people are interested, I can always do some Yoruba classes and introduce people to the culture because, like I said, it's always open to learn. Welcome hands. You know, we're not discriminating. If you wanna come to the culture, come. So yeah.
Got to give them a a contact number
Oh
or
yes,
way
you.
to promote.
As of now, I am on Facebook, on Monisola, Monisola, Abujade, and I am on Instagram at brownsugar.mo, and that is brown and sugar.mo.
Facts. Can I just promote my
Of course, go ahead.
Irao Ife
Go.
Factual? My Instagram is Irao Ife Facts. My number is 347-296-9793. I give you the best natal charts, forecasts, numerology, Ifa, Orisha readings. Basically, you tell me what your zodiac sign is. I tell you what Orisha is aligned with your zodiac sign. I tell you basically what your strengths and weaknesses right now in your life, what's to come. We're in February right now. What's to come in March? What's to come in May? What's to come in June? Again, my number is 347-296-9793. My readings are only $25. I do about an hour and a half to 2 hours, all about you. If you have your own business, focus on your business plan. It could be a relationship. I do, you tell me your birthday, you tell me the person's birthday. I do compatibility reading on you and that person. Only for $25, 2 hours. 347-296-9793. Call me anytime, leave a message, let's set up an appointment. Empower yourself now. Let's get it now. We're gonna empower ourselves right now.
Oh, cool. So
Thank you.
let me ask you this: what can we do to encourage Caribbeans, Africans, Black Americans to do business amongst each other uh, here, and we'll say in America, since everybody's pretty much represented here in America?
I'm me personally. I'm in the susu right now. I believe in susus. Susu. I heard susu. The susu is the original Ghanaian banking system. It is the susu. So I believe in susus. I mean, I'm not divulging any information about that because I don't know if the party that are in my just put it out there with working with whoever right now. But if you give me a call and you're serious about this and we meet over dinner, whatever, and I find out that you're working, you can show and prove that you have checks, you've been working for the last 6, 7 months, then maybe we could talk about the next time we start our susu. We can add you on and we can build. I think that's a great idea to build resources between African American, Sub-Saharan, and Afro Caribbean. But it has to be with people that are honest, straightforward people that want to build and want to grow. They're not just thinking about themselves. They have to have the mentality that they're thinking about the team, the unit. I can't be saying, yeah, I want to be in the susu and I don't have the money this month. I went to go. I went to the club, or I just said forget my peoples. You can't be a part of a susun like that. Then If you have the mentality that's selfish and it's not unselfish, then you can't. We don't need you. If you're a selfish person, don't join our susu. Because we don't need you. We can't grow that way.
Yeah. Hey, here's
That's
another question. Do you guys will any of you consider moving to Africa permanently? Like Minnesota, Monisola, will you consider moving back or moving to Africa?
Definitely, that is the end plan. Even even if it's just being like international and having a house in Africa, I think everyone should experience the motherland. Go there, set up a business, see what your mind can do in the area. So you're not just on one American ideology, but ultimately, I do see myself in Africa in the motherland because I think it's very, very important. You know, for us as an individual to not rely on American resources. We have resources there. So get there, see what it is you can contribute, see what it is your ancestors, your mind is telling you to do so you can use the resources available in the motherland. I think it's very important. I don't think anyone should want to be dormant where they are. But ultimately, I do see myself living in Africa and being international and using my purpose, my God-given abilities to help, that vision that I have of Pan-Africanism and uniting our brothers and sisters. It has to start from home, and that's the ultimate reason why I see myself, there.
No, cool. Hey, I want to give a shout out to Brian Cole. Thank you for the super chat. Ingrid, thank you for the super chat as well. Ingrid, make sure you email me your address so I can send you a postcard. I want to make sure I get this out to you. I don't think
Ashanti,
I
Ghana,
That's
Ghana. That's
dope.
what's up. That's Ghana.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Can
yeah,
I
yeah.
just say, Dinus, can I
Go,
ask you a question?
go
What
ahead,
is your
fam.
views on dual citizenship?
I think it's important. I'm working on getting mine in Senegal. So
I say,
I think it's important, very important, because it's just you don't want to be in a position
facts,
where if something goes down here in America that you don't have a home. You know what I
facts,
mean? I think it's important because the way they're acting around here, especially with just with this school shooting last week, I mean, it's like they're preparing for war. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? And they're doing
they
target
have the
practice.
resources.
Yeah, that was nothing but
facts.
target practice. What he was doing. So I mean, you gotta prepare yourself. So just in case something pops off, you know, I want to be able to merge or blend right into another country in Africa. So I won't be too much of a foreigner. So yeah.
Facts. Nah,
No,
I
no, no, no.
definitely, I
Ingrid,
definitely want to.
my bad. Ingrid, I need your. I'm sorry, that's that email address. Ingrid, I need your physical address. Your physical address. Make sure you send your physical address. Email me your physical address so I can send you one of these cards. And Brian, I already got you right. Brian, hit yes or no in the chat room. I already got you, bro. I know you've been contributing a lot, but I think I already got you. I wanna make sure. But Ingrid, make sure you email me, search for Uhuru at gmail.com, your physical address. Let's see here. Okay, DJ, I don't understand your question. Who's they? Monisola. So, how can we encourage? I know you mentioned Susu, which I haven't heard of a Susu. In fact, real quick, Sekou, can you explain Susu again? That's the first time I
Yeah,
heard that concept.
Susu is basically it's basically okay. Say we got six people. We say the Susu is $200 a month, and we let's say we do 3 months. So I mean we do the six people. The tuition is $200 a month, and that's 18 months because 6 times 3 is 18. Everybody get paid 3 times. So everybody in that six and out of those six people will get paid 3 times in 18 months. So it's 12 months in a year. So that's 12 months plus 6 months. So that's $3,000, $200 a month. Six people times three is 18 months. 18 times yeah, it's three stacks. That's 3 stacks. I mean, you saving money, you saving a little bit of money. That could be your travel money to go to Africa. That could be how you get to visit your dream world Africa, Wakanda, whatever you want to call it. You stacking your bread. And this is with people that you can trust, people that you know for a fact is not gonna say, I'm not gonna pay you this month. They not, they I don't got it, nah. It's not gonna work like that, So say you say the tuition for the susu is $200 a month. It's six people in the susu. Y'all all put maybe y'all names in the bag, and everyone picks out their name, and they find out what month they're in, and whatever month you in, you have to stay that month. And then you can either use if y'all in different states, you can use PayPal, you can use Square Cash, y'all can pay each other like that. You know what your month is, and you know the chronological order of who gets paid before you. You know everybody that's in the susu. Whoever gets paid before you make sure you pay that person. When it's your month, everybody pays you. And it goes back around three times. So you get paid three times. It's six people, they get paid three times. I've been in the susu for like 4 years now, and it's beautiful. I love it. You know what I mean? Shout out to Haiti. My Haitian people are so incredible. I love my Haitian people. They down in the susu right now. We got I'm African Americans and Haitians. We got a susu right now. And it's beautiful. I love it. You know what I mean? But the point I'm trying to make is it's six. It's one way we can show our unity. We can support each other through our resources. You know what I mean? So whatever number it is, it could be, say it's seven people. You want to make sure that you get paid a certain amount of time. So if y'all want to do 28 months, y'all say y'all get paid four times. So that's 28 months. In 28 months, everybody gets paid four times. You know what I mean? And if it's $200, you count that $200 times, I don't know the math for it. I know the math for the six times three, which is three stacks. That's three stacks in a year. You know what I mean? But the math behind that seven and four, I don't know right now. But it's basically, you organize how much y'all gonna get paid. Everyone agrees on it. Everyone agrees this is the tuition for the susu. We're gonna pay out this amount of money. Everyone does the same thing. We all have the same idea. Everyone pays everybody within their month that amount of money. And we keep doing this. It's continually financially empowering each other. We keep doing this. It's a collective effort. We continually pay each other. That's exactly what it is. So I don't know how Monisola. I don't know how did I do at explaining it, because I know you know about it.
It's
So
it's great. It goes back to the African tradition too, because I remember growing up, a lot of my family members, they did the same thing, and they called it Iwo Owoajo, and basically it's a money pool. So you guys pool your money, and every person gets paid when it's their turn, basically. So and you have a large sum of money to your use that you can use for what you need. Maybe you need to start a business. So instead of having $200, now you have, what is it, $1,300, depending on how much people you have. So that's a very great resource to have. It's like a money pool, and that's why you said you want to deal with people you trust, because you don't want people backing out or playing you last minute. So it's very, very good, and it goes back to the African tradition. This is something that they've done for ages and ages and ages to build their wealth as well, to get them off the ground. So it's definitely something great, and I do recommend it. It's great to get you off, kind of off, like from a base start. If you need some help, if it's just starting something small, you can even save your month's money to accumulate more money to start your business or what it is you want to do. So I definitely support that.
And I was gonna say, yeah, if it's seven people, everyone get paid four times. That's 1,400. I guess that would be 1,400 in 28 months. That would be everyone getting paid 1,400 three times. So 1,400 times three is whatever that is. That's your full amount. And of course, when it's your month, you also have to pay yourself. If you're really about stacking your bread, so
Mm-hmm.
when it's your month, you also pay yourself $200, and you don't touch that money. You just let that money sit in your account. If you do this for 5 or 6 years, you'll have $100,000 in 6 years. If you religiously do this just from the susu, you'll have already saved up $100,000 for yourself. And of course, that's the goal. So, yo, that's an incredible dashiki though, my brother. That's what's up, man. Shout.
My bad.
The white and gray.
Yeah, it's nice.
I
I
like that,
appreciate it.
Dinus. That's what's up, God. Yeah, yeah.
I appreciate it,
Facts.
man. Yeah, I'm about to.
I got my young, I got my
You know,
yellow
I had
Marisa
a.
Smooth right here. I got my
Mhm.
yellow, my gold. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
Color of the
okay, it's
sun right
clean.
here. You know what I mean?
It's
Facts.
clean. It's clean. All right, so we'll go ahead and close out. Monisola, is there anything you want to share with us before we close out in regards just to wrap up the discussion?
Definitely, definitely. My message to the people is just make sure you're being true to yourself. Stay on purpose. Do not be dissuaded. There's a lot of things out there attacking all the mediums within us, attacking our heart, attacking our brain. If you do need help with any blockages, I can be contacted on Instagram. It's brownsugar.mo. But on that note, like I said, stay strong, stay powerful, and stand in your worth.
Irao Ife Facts. My number is 347-296-9793. Shout out to Nigeria, Ngua Bukumfunye. Shout out to Ghana. Shout out to Sierra Leone, Freetown. Shout out to Burkina Faso. Shout out to Haiti, Sapase. Shout out to South Africa, Botswana, Zimbabwe. We love you. Peace.
All right, peace, everybody. Search for Huru. Thank you for coming on. Make sure you guys go to searchforhuru.com. Make sure you go to dynastymirror.com. Make sure you go to amazon.com. Search your name, Dynasty Mirror. And search for Huru on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and Facebook. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe. And also share the content. I know you guys keep saying, Dynasty, we come to you. You have the best platform. Again, help me get this out there. So please share the content. If you're not super chatting, please like and share. Everybody on the panel, thank you for coming on. I'm probably done for today, but everybody, I'll be back on tomorrow. So again, family, thank you so much. Peace.
Ngua Bukumfunye.
Peace.